Are you a solopreneur or a small business owner starting a staffing agency or a staffing founder of a small agency? Well, this is for you because I'm going to show you how to compete with the biggies, how to compete with the giants. Okay. So we're going to talk about in this video, by the way, I'm Diane Prince. If you don't know, I sold the staffing agency for $28 million, and I'm here to show you how to build your own staffing agency. Okay, so we're going to talk about in this video virtual assistants for recruiters, how offshore VA staffing can help solopreneurs with support services to rival enterprise sized companies. Okay, you can get an enterprise grade virtual assistant that will provide virtual assistant VA support for staffing so that you can have your very own VA team for your small business. Okay, so if you're interested in staffing agency growth tools and competitive staffing solutions, this video is for you. Let's go. One of the questions I get asked often is, how can a small staffing agency compete with larger firms? Well, if you think you need a six-figure operations budget to run like a big agency, or probably seven figures to run like a big agency, what if I told you that a virtual assistant team can give you the same edge for pennies on the dollar? Because it's true. And this is even especially more helpful if you've got a niche and you've got your little slice of the market that you want. You can have an exceptional virtual assistant team to run it pretty much almost everything for you. Okay, I do this myself. I set out to build this business, my current staffing business. I set out to build it in a way that I can stay in my own zone of genius, and I have offshore people doing everything for me. This morning, I played pickleball for 2 hours, and now I'm making this video. So I'm truly living my best life, building out my staffing agency with the help of exceptional offshore support. Okay, so let's get going. Let's continue. Okay, so high level, what are high level functions? Okay, high level functions include CRM management, sourcing, candidate sourcing. Okay, we have one client who last week, with the help of our virtual assistant sourcer, we charge less than $1,000 a month, okay, made a placement for $37,000 with the help of our virtual assistant sourcer. Okay, so you can do it too. So things that like enterprise grade support that virtual assistants can do, they can do billing, they can do CRM management, they can do client reporting. Client reporting is so important because in this business, that is one of the only things that you can control. Is like, look, we can shepherd clients and candidates through the process. When in doubt, you can always report. You always want to keep in touch with your clients and let them know what's going on. So usually that stuff is pretty overwhelming. That's a lot. So why not have a virtual assistant team so that you can wow your clients and never lose a client again? Another reason how virtual assistants can help your bottom line, and they drastically do for me, is helping with the sales pipeline, helping with the sales process. So my virtual assistants manage my emails. They manage my LinkedIn inbox so that I'm not missing. Like I used to miss, I would miss inquiries. I would miss incoming leads. And by the way, if you're not getting incoming leads, we can talk about that later. But I get so many incoming leads now that I can't manage them myself because of how because of how my virtual assistants also are helping me with my marketing. So they help to keep everything organized, get people on my calendar. They're even doing sales for me now. So I don't necessarily look at virtual assistants as just people who I'm offering or handing off admin tasks to. I actually also use virtual assistants to help to grow the business too. I'm working on 10xing my business, and my virtual assistants are powering this phenomenal growth. So if you're a solopreneur or a founder of a small agency, you're probably wearing an unlimited amount of hats. You got a million hats going on. You probably have zero extra bandwidth. You're trying to juggle it all. This stalls placements and it stalls revenue. Not only does it stall the placements that you're already working on, it stalls your pipeline. Because if you're doing it all, you're working on roles, you're not building your pipeline, and sales is the lifeline of your business. So you need to make sure that that's all going and that's all running in the background. So you can use automation and you can also use virtual assistants. Our virtual assistants also set up your automations. Another thing that my virtual assistants have done for me is they have created my SOPs, okay, with me, along with me, but we see what works. So my goal was to build a business so that really my main responsibility, or my main role in the business was to clearly articulate my vision and what I wanted to get done, what I wanted to accomplish. My virtual assistant team figures out how to do that for me. So they've helped me to create all of our SOPs, all of our standard operating procedures, so that we can expand on the team and they can manage other virtual assistants to keep on going and to keep on growing. If you've been following me for any length of time, you know that part of my exit, part of the reason why I was able to have such a successful exit was my team, okay? But now your team can also be offshore. You can have a team at a fraction of the price than what it cost me when I built my agency many years ago. And that's what I'm doing today. That's why I'm able to build my agency with this offshore team. It's incredible. So let's talk about the cost savings. Okay, you could have a virtual assistant team. Probably you could have, well, it's a fraction of the price. Look, it's 70 to 90% of the cost of hiring domestically. And if you're working remotely, especially, it's a total no-brainer. There are so many good people in places like the Philippines, so many good people that are just ready to go, that love working with US-based companies. And if you're not using virtual assistants, you're missing out, because you could really be growing. And just one final thing that I'll say about virtual assistants is, if you think that it's difficult and you don't know where to start, or you don't know how to manage virtual assistants, with my business, I do staffing for virtual assistants, and we help our clients. We can help you to figure out how to manage them, how to create your standard operating procedures. Some of our clients already know exactly what they want them to do. Other ones need more strategic guidance, and we're here to help you and provide that to you. It is recommended. I recommend that when you onboard virtual assistants, whether they're through us or through Fiverr or whatever, consider the first 3 months as a time investment. You will not regret the time that you spend up front with your virtual assistants training them, because after that, you're gonna get back so much more than you gave. I met at a founders pickleball league. I was talking to one founder, and he told me that his COO just quit because he said he knows it was because he was unable to give her any direction. Okay, so it is important, even with virtual assistants, that you give them direction, but be very clear when you let them know, hey, these are the things I need done, and then also be clear that if you need help for them to create your SOPs or whatever you need. So just to recap, I'm going to answer some commonly asked questions. One, how can a small staffing agency compete with larger firms? The answer is offshore virtual talent. Number two, what tasks can VAs handle to free up my time? VAs can handle pretty much anything that you don't want to be doing. So it can be, for me, I prefer selling over sourcing. So I have my virtual assistants sourcing and recruiting, our virtual assistants that we place. Some people love recruiting. They're really good at recruiting and not great at biz dev. So you can have your virtual assistants help you with the biz dev process, marketing, setting up email campaigns, setting up warm email warm-ups, doing Zapiers so that you can, is it Zapier or Zapier? I don't know, Zaps, so that all of the tech stuff that you might be able to do yourself, but it takes a lot of time. Let virtual assistants do that for you so that you can actually stay in your zone of genius. They even do, for me, I do keynote talks and things like that. My VAs make my slide decks. They support me in so many ways. I could not even live without them. Okay. Number three, what does an offshore VA team cost compared to local hires? A fraction of the cost. It's usually about anywhere between 70 to 90%. And with that budget, you're going to be giving people a generous salary based on their cost of living, where they live. Okay. How do I onboard, train, and manage a VA team to follow my SOPs? Okay. Communication. One of my core values is clear and direct communication. So communicate so that your people will know what your mission is, what your vision is, and they'll know how to best support you so that then they can start creating the SOPs and power you. Also, just one last thing is my favorite part about my virtual assistants. One of my favorite parts is that they manage me. Okay. They totally project manage me. So sometimes I'm like, what do I need to do today? My VAs have my back. So if you're ready to compete with the big guys, you're ready to level up and outserve them because you can, and tap into enterprise grade virtual assistant support, book a call, talk to us or talk to somebody else, use another agency. Whatever you do, definitely do not miss this opportunity to level up and compete with the big guys using offshore virtual assistants. I'm Diane Prince. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for other tips on building your staffing agency.